Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Today, class, we're going to work on comparing fractions.
Yay!
Now, do me a favor and take out your supply list. Paper, pencil, ruler, color pencils. Question 1. Trey rode his bike for 3/4 of a mile. Chris rode her bike 1/4 of a mile. Which person rode their bike the furthest? Analysis. 3/4 is greater, less than, or equal to 1/4. Now, draw a fraction number line. Start at 0, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 1/2. So Trey has a number line 0, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 1/2. Chris has a number line 0, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 1/2. Now let's do a comparison. I would like for you to plot the points on the number line that matches the riders. As we can clearly see, Trey rode his bike the furthest because 3/4 is greater than 1/4. Now, vocabulary. An array. An array is a way to represent multiplication and division using rows and columns. Rows represent the number of groups. Columns represent the number in each group or the size of each group. Here are two word problems that involve multiplication, and both arrays can also be used to model division. Now, please remember those steps. Step 1. Multiply from bottom right to top left 7 times 8. Quickly do an array on your own. Pause the video. Let's review the steps of comparing fractions. The original problem is 8/6 is greater, less than, or equal to 10/7. 8/6 is greater, less than, or equal to 10/7. Now, step 1. Multiply the bottom right to the top left. The denominator is 7 times the numerator 8 equals 56. The denominator 6 times the numerator 10 equals 60. Now, 8/6 is represented by the number 56, and 10/7 is represented by the number 60. Place the numbers on top of each fraction. As we can clearly see, 56 is less than 60. In conclusion, 8/6 is less than 10/7 because 56 represents 8/6, which is less than 60, which represents 10/7. If you got it, say I got it.
I got it.
Let's try another one. 6/4 is greater, less than, or equal to 10/9. Build an array if you have to. For 9 times 6 and 4 times 10. Pause the video. Great job. Now, the original problem is 6/4 is greater, less than, or equal to 10/9. First, I would like for you to circle the 9 times 6, the means. 9 times 6 is 54. Place the 54 above the fraction 6/4. Excellent job. Now, multiply the extremes. 4 times 10 is 40. Place the 40 over the fraction 10/9. Excellent job. Now, we can visually see that the number 54, which represents the 6/4, is greater than the 10/9, which is 40. In conclusion, 54 is greater than 40, thus 6/4 is greater than 10/9. Next problem. The original problem is 5/3 is greater, less than, or equal to 7/5. Step 1. Circle the means. 5 times 5 equals 25. Place the 25 above the fraction 5/3, or 5/3. Now, cross multiply the extremes. 3 times 7 equals 21. Place the 21 over the 7/5 fraction. In conclusion, we can clearly see that 25 is greater than 21. Thus, 5/3 is greater than 7/5. Next problem. The original problem is 8/6 is greater, less than, or equal to 6/3. And don't forget, when you multiply two factors, you get a product. In this case, the 3 is the factor, multiplied by 8, which is a factor, and the product is 24. The 6 factor multiplied the 6 factor equals 36. In conclusion, we can clearly see that 24 is less than 36. The 24 is represented by 8/6, and the 36 is represented by the fraction 6/3. Now, the original problem is 3/2 is greater, less than, or equal to 9/7. First, multiply the means. Factor 7 times the factor 3 is a product of 21. Place the 21 directly above 3/2. Now, cross multiply the extremes. 2 times 9 equals 18, which represents 9/7. As we can clearly see, 21 is greater than 18, or 3/2 is greater than 9/7. Yes, this is absolutely a shortcut. However, children learn at different paces, and so let's try a different way. Typically, the problems are written horizontally. So let's take a look at the original problem. 3/5 is greater, less than, or equal to 4/8. I would like for you to stack that problem up vertically or up and down, because I want you to see it. And you can't be it if you can't see it. Now, greater, less than, or equal to. Remember in the previous chapter, if your denominators are different or unlike, you must build equivalent sets in order to get the like denominators, or the lowest common denominator. But then I want you to look at the top numbers, or the top fractions, or the numerators to compare which fraction is the largest. Let's try it. The original problem is 3/5 is greater, less than, or equal to 4/8. 3/5 equals, now let's build our equivalent sets. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48. The 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, 88, 96. Now we can clearly see that the lowest common denominator between the 5 and the 8 is 40. Now we can look at our top fraction, the 3/5, which is represented by the product of 24, and the 4/8, which is represented by the product of 20. So in conclusion, 3/5 is greater than 4/8 because 24 is greater than 20. If you got it, say I got it.
I got it.
Very good. Let's try another one. 2/3 is greater, less than, or equal to 5/7. Pause the video. Excellent job. Excellent job. I'm really proud of you guys. Now, the original problem is 2/3 is greater, less than, or equal to 5/7. As you can see, it's written horizontally, but I like to stack them up vertically. But you do what's best for you. But I'm stacking mine 2/3 plus 5/7 because I like to see it. Step 1, I look at my sign. Step 2, I look at the denominators, the bottom numbers, to see if they are the same. Step 3, if they are the same, I simply add. Step 4, if they're different, I build equivalent sets. Because my denominators are different, I build equivalent sets. So 2/3 plus 5/7. The 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. The 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. The 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. The 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70, 77, 84. Do you see a like denominator?
21.
21, yes. Great job. So now we simply look at the numerators. When we compare the numerator for the top part of the fraction, 2/3 equaling 14. And when we look at the numerator for the bottom part of the fraction, it's 15. Thus, the 2/3 is represented by the product of 14, and the 5/7 is represented by the product of 15. So as we can clearly see, 2/3 14 is less than 5/7 15. So 2/3 is less than 5/7. Wow, great job. Now, I would like for you to order the following fractions from least to greatest. Determine the least common denominator first, but don't be alarmed. We've done this before. You got this. First, look at the 1/2, 11/12, 1/3, and 2/5. You have to find the lowest common denominator between all of the bottom numbers or all of the bottom denominators. So now you have to find the common denominator between the 2, the 12, the 3, and the 5. The only product divisible by all the numbers 2, 12, 3, and 5 is 60. But let's practice it. Remember, stack your problems up vertically so that you can see it. 1/2 plus 11/12 plus 1/3 plus 2/5. Now look at all of the bottom numbers or denominators. 2, 12, 3, and 5. Once you build the equivalent sets for all of the denominators, you will find that 60 is the lowest common denominator between all 4 denominators. Thus, what you multiply to the bottom, you must multiply the exact number to the top part of the fraction. Let's try it. 2 times 30 was 60, so 1 times 30 was 30. 12 times 5 was 60, so 11 times 5 was 55. 3 times 20 is 60, so 1 times 20 is 20. 5 times 12 was 60, so 2 times 12 was 24. And now we simply order the numbers from least to greatest. 20, 24, 30, 55. Excellent job. Now, let's translate that. 1/3 equals 20 because it's the least. 2/5 was 24, which was the next greatest number. 1/2 was 30, which is the third greatest number, and 11/12 was 55, which is the greatest number. So when we order these numbers from least to greatest, we look at the numerators: 20, 24, 30, 55. If you got it, say I got it.
I got it.
Excellent job. Lastly, most of us are visual learners. So what I would like for you to do is take out your supplies: a ruler, a pencil, and color pencils. Now, because we have 4 different fractions, 1/2, 11/12, 1/3, and 2/5, we need 4 different fraction bars. Draw each of the fraction bars the same length and width. Example, I would like for you to trace 5 inches across in the middle of the paper and 1 inch down. Close the rectangle. Because you have 4 different fractions, you need 4 different fraction bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, enter the fraction sticks. You tell the number of fraction sticks by the denominator. So in the first fraction, example 1 is 1/2. So I must divide my fraction bar into 2, 1/2 and 1/2. So we have 2 equal parts. In fraction 2, 11/12, I need 12 fraction sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In my third fraction bar, I need 3 fraction sticks. 1, 2, 3. And in my fourth fraction bar, I need 5 fraction sticks because my denominator is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we quickly label the problem. Fraction bar number 1 is 1/2. Fraction bar number 2 is 1/12. Fraction bar number 3 is 1/3. And fraction bar number 4 is 1/5. Now we simply shade the numerator, the top number. So 1/2 means we shade 1/2. 11/12 means we shade 11 fraction sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In the third fraction 1/3, we simply shade in 1 fraction stick out of 1/3. And in the last fraction 2/5, we simply shade in 2 fraction sticks. Let's do a visual comparison. As we can clearly see, if we order these numbers from least to greatest, 1/3 is the least greatest fraction. Then 2/5, then 1/2, then 11/12. Excellent job. Try this one on your own. I would like for you to try this fraction from least to greatest. Sally rode her bike on Lakeshore Drive 1/3 of a mile. Kiki rode her bike on Lakeshore Drive 2/4 of a mile. Winston rode his bike on Lakeshore Drive 3/8 of a mile. And Gav rode his bike 4/6 of a mile. Excellent job.